But like April, May is turning out to be a pretty wet month indeed. The driest in the north, wettest in the south, and it looks as if we are going to maintain this heavy shower regime over the next 36 to 48 hours before high pressure starts to build in towards the weekend. Thanks for clicking on to Vogan's European Outlook for Wednesday, the 10th of May. Hope everybody is doing well so far today, having a good day. I did see some images of flooding in parts of Devon as well as other areas of the UK. The trigger being that area of low pressure, as you can see here, just to the west of Scotland, that will sink south over Northern Ireland through this evening. And what happens is with this trigger here, what we're seeing is winds. There is an element of winds converging as well. Sea breezes coming in as the land heats up. That draws air from the ocean or from the sea inland towards the pressure where it lowers naturally with warming of the air temperature from the ground up. And what that happens is we start to increase the upward motion of the atmosphere as the temperatures warm at the surface. Then the air is forced to rise towards the cooler levels of the mid levels of the atmosphere, and that is what's causing these shower clouds to develop through the kind of second half of the morning, and particularly early to mid afternoon. We start to see it's like almost like a kind of popcorn effect in your microwave. If you throw in a bag of popcorn or your kettle boiling, you know, it's forcing all this kind of motion, upward motion, and the development of convective showers and thunderstorms. And of course, where you're underneath one of those showers, you'll know all about it. And they have been pretty widespread, and that's been really allowing the rain totals to mount up once again this month, as we've seen back during April, especially across southern areas as well as eastern areas. And indeed, of course, it was a very, very wet March as well. So the combination of March and April means that for some parts of England, it has been the wettest March April period since the mid 1940s. And with a wet May now in control, that really is starting to kind of set the tone from a winter summer forecast. I will get there eventually, and it'll be interesting to see whether my ideas that I have merit for the longer term. But you can see here as we play through a loop, plenty of showers across the board. Then they start to fizzle out as the air mass naturally cools during the overnight period. And you can see that area of low pressure sinking into Northern Ireland. So we are going to keep the shower activity going. We've got enhanced instability underneath that area of low pressure across Northern Ireland, hence why we're going to continue to see these showers through the overnight period. But elsewhere, with the dynamics starting to kind of fall away, we'll lose that incoming solar radiation, we'll lose the dynamics, we'll lose the shower activity, and skies start to clear out. And then as we progress through the early portion of tomorrow, then the atmosphere starts to rebubble up once again, and we see these widespread showers and thunderstorms developing. So we have more heavy downpours to speak about during the course of Thursday. And then, as you can see here, off the latest run of the GFS, that high pressure starts to settle the atmosphere down in quite a significant way as we progress through Friday. Now, the centre of that high is to the north of the mainland of Scotland, as you can see here. So we've got these northeasterly winds. We've got a feature here that is going to try and bring a spell of heavy persistent rain across East Anglia and the southeast of England. Elsewhere, far drier than it has been of late. And of course, it has been relatively dry actually across the northern half of the British Isles through March, April. I should say really April and the first half of May so far anyway. March was a good bit wetter across most areas. Certainly April was quite dry in the north, wet across the south, and it looks as if we're seeing the same thing taking place during the first 10 days of May. But with these easterly winds, it'll always be coolest across the eastern areas. It'll be warmer as you progress westwards across England, Wales, and as well as that across Scotland also. We could see Western Scotland underneath that area of high pressure squeeze out 20, 21 Celsius possible in the next few days. But really, folks, temperatures are no great shakes for this time of the year. If we look at the GFS, this is the 2 meter temperature anomalies here, and you can see the script as we go forward. So warmest actually in eastern areas versus the west of the UK during the course of today. Then, as you can see here, we start to reverse the overall situation as we progress through the latter half of the week. Notice here, warmest temperatures across northern half of the UK, underneath the lightest winds and most sunshine. Further south, you've got that nagging east to northeasterly wind, going to keep temperatures at to slightly below the average for the time of the year. Continuing to stay very cool across many areas of the continent, as you can see here. We continue with this cool and damp spring across the heart of Europe, and this is what I've been alluding to of late. This may have significance as we push towards the first half of the summer season. But look at these temperatures here at 12Z Friday, the anomaly, very warm compared to average, or warmer than average, should I say, across Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland. But look at this here across the southeast, as that feature may try to bring a spell of persistent rain into East Anglia and the southeast. Notice here, squeezing the isobars, indicating that we have some fairly brisk winds coming in. Literally no wind underneath the centre of that high across the north, as you can see here. But it's kind of continuing to keep the same upper air setup that we've been stuck in through most of April and through most of the first 10 days of May. High pressure to the north, low pressure to the south, keeping things more unsettled and cooler the further south in the UK as well as Europe you go. So certainly it's quite interesting to see that as we go forward. Do we see this continuing into the second half of May, even into June, the first half of summer? That's possible, and we'll look at that in a bit more detail in the coming days as well as weeks. But you can see here as I play through the loop, continuing to stay relatively cool, if not quite chilly for the time of the year across central and southern portions of the continent. Look at southern Europe, look at Iberia. So much focus being across this region of the continent of recent times. Severe drought, heat, certainly not the case as we push towards the weekend at least. We've got temperatures a good 6 to 8, possibly even 10 Celsius below average across some areas of Spain as we press through the upcoming weekend. Look at Central and Southern Europe. Very, very chilly numbers actually compared to average. Warmer than average across the north underneath that Scandinavian blocking area of high pressure. So, short and sweet video today. Thanks for watching. As always, please like, please share with your friends and family, and do hit that subscribe button if you already haven't done so, because I will have the upcoming summer 2023 forecast. I am building the ideas. I have started the written forecast itself, so plenty of reasons to stay right here on my channel, marfoganweather.com. You can follow me on Facebook as well as Twitter. See you again hopefully tomorrow with more. Bye for now.